Welcome to Sea Time, everybody, the off-road show that brings you all the results, news, and online shenanigans that make being online a good time. We'd like to say thank you to Fly Racing for their support of Sea Time. Please go check them out at flyracing.com. Welcome to Sea Time, everybody. Brian Pierce here. It's been 2 weeks since we have had a show, and I can't stress enough how awkward it felt to do this. It's so strange. I've done this so many times. Just this year alone, we've had, it seems like freaking 20 episodes. However many weeks are we into this year? We take one little break, and I come back, and I get all kinds of flustered. Have absolutely no idea what's going on. We do have a fun guest in studio, though, Mr. Rob. I'm gonna screw it up. Pavin. Yeah. And you are from Melbourne, Australia.
From Melbourne, Australia. Yeah, and kind of from England as well.
Yeah,
so from two countries.
And you're well traveled.
Yeah.
It's he's actually in the States for business / other stuff as well.
Yep.
Those things are illegal in the States, so we don't talk about it, but you can pay for it in other countries if that makes any sense to you guys out there. And so he's a fan, if you will, I put that in air quotes, of the show, and was like getting in touch with us. And so we were like, dude, come down, have some beers, and sit down on the couch, and it'll be a good time to enjoy it all. So for those of you who have absolutely no idea why I would say it's a good thing he's here to sit on the couch, this is Seat Time. This is the beer drinking and binge racing show for anyone out there who enjoys doing things off-road, or as Digital Off-Road would say, doing it in the woods. That is fun for all of us. The dirtier, the better, I would say. We're definitely the online show for the off-road enthusiast. We go live every Tuesday night. If you cannot catch us live, you can go to our website, which is seattime.co. You can find all of the shows archived there. If that is too simple, of course, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. That will update you when we do update new shows. And YouTube or Stitcher and iTunes, if for some strange reason you're just audio-friendly only and I am too ugly for your retinas. Which is possible. I'm not going to lie. So those are all the ways that you can get to us. If we wouldn't be here without the big thanks to the guys at Fly Racing. With those guys, big supporters of off-road, big supporters of Sea Time. We couldn't be doing this without those guys. Of course, Stillwell Performance. I like being suspended very well. I like it when I'm dampened hard, put into the roots wet. I don't know. I'd try to come up with more sexual terms if I had more time and I've had more beer. But not yet. Towards the end of the show, I have a feeling we'll get there. But seriously, if you need to be suspended, if your bike feels like shit, you're probably set up wrong. Stillwell Performance, good guys, great supporters of the show, and Fast Company. Those guys doing cool stuff with the flex handlebars, their torque spoke wrench. I think they're fun, and they're supporters of the show, which everybody out there should go support them because of that. So it's unfortunately been 2 weeks since we've done a show, so we're going to try to get back into the swing of things, but we don't like to leave our guests hanging too much. So, of course, we're going to talk to Rob a little bit about Australia, all the fun stuff that goes on there. I hope you guys... Oh, shut up. You shut up, Caleb. We're going to get to you. It's getting all rude. Gosh. So... If you guys didn't get a chance to watch the webcast this past weekend of the GNCC racing, it was absolutely spectacular. We didn't just have Katch-Up Kailub trying to not lose. We had Katch-Up Kailub just flooring the crap out of what it was absolutely insane. We're gonna kind of dissect it a little bit, if you will, in our fashion. But before we do that, we just have to ask, Mr. Kailub Russell, how is your evening going, kind sir?
It's going pretty good right now. Just got back from the gym, a little spin class over at the Y, but the weather is pretty terrible right now. It's like 50 degrees, but it's supposed to be spring, but I think it's more or less fall weather right now. It's pretty cold outside.
It's strange. We actually got a little bit of a cold front as well here in Texas. And I say a little bit because, it changed 5 degrees. We didn't get as bipolar as normal. But,
It can't make up its mind around here lately. Last week was beautiful. This week so far has been pretty crappy.
So, spin class. Are you actually wearing Lycra? I have to know what your spandex attire looks like.
Well, I've got on bibs right now.
Oh.
Gym shorts. I did wear bibs. I didn't wear a jersey or nothing.
Nice.
I'm not full kitted in a room full of
sweaty dudes.
Well, there's a few women in there too. So.
Are there any attractive women?
My wife was in there.
So yes, there's at least one. I would say at least 2, because if some dude walked up on you behind with your long flowing hair, I'm pretty sure he'd be like, check out the blonde and the brunette. Yeah. Oh my God. Look at the size of her forearms.
Looked like a wet rat earlier.
I love it. Well, that's okay. We know you're fit. You look good from behind. You know, no man can judge you for that. It happens.
If I don't get a shower, I'm gonna have to change oil in it soon. So.
or you could just have another wicked ass mullet.
That's coming.
Oh. Yeah. Dude, you guys, you need to film it. Like that's what needs to happen. You need to make sure you film it when you.
Yeah, we will. We will.
Right.
It's coming.
All right.
Like,
so,
just got to get it the right trashy length first.
It's got to be the perfect amount of white trash.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I like your preparation style. I really do. You're doing a good job preparing for your white trashy ass mullet. So, talk us in. Okay, never been to this Limestone 100. It's still semi-new. I think this is the 3rd year that it's been around. You've won it before. You were going in looking for another win this year. Kind of give us the setup coming out of Big Buck, or setup coming out of South Carolina for Limestone 100 and how you were kind of going into that event.
Yeah, we did. We actually. It's fairly new event, but it's been different last couple of years. The first year was from what I remember, it was kind of hard pack a little bit and a little bit rocky and slick. But this year it was definitely walking the track. I didn't think it was going to get near as rough as it did, and I kind of forgot how technical it was. So there's tons of roots and a bunch of rocks and stuff, and we made a fork setting change the week before, and it helped out a lot for sure trying to catch up. I was a little bit thought my front end was a little harsh at Big Buck, so we softened her up, and bike worked good and everything. I just had a pretty big get off.
Yeah, you did have a pretty big get off. So you didn't actually have to catch up though from the very beginning, like you have been doing with your crappy starts, or some of your crappy starts anyway. So before you had your big get off and your big wreck, was there any thought to going, oh my gosh, I'm actually out front in the beginning?
No, I got a pretty decent start, and I got into third, like a half mile into the woods, and I was behind Charlie, and I made him and Paul missed a little inside turn. We dropped down into this little creek bed, and they went wide, and I snuck in, almost got both of them at the same time. But and actually, I got Paul right after getting out of the creek bed, so I got into first, and I was just kind of riding and feeling the track out because, like I said, it was really, really quite technical and kind of sketchy there in the beginning to go fast and push because it just seemed like it could jump up and bite you at any second, and it felt good to be out front and just kind of riding and feeling the track out and doing my own thing, and then all of a sudden I going down this straightaway, friggin' like third gear, it was probably fourth gear by then, and right when I went to start braking, I hit a little slick spot, and when I grabbed the front brakes under braking power, the front wheel locked up and like went sideways, then I caught traction and it just yard sailed me. So
Ugh.
You can imagine just going like as fast as you can down a straightaway and then grabbing only your front brakes and seeing how that ends up.
Well, I don't have near the flowing locks that you do, though I'm working on them, so I'd imagine that my safety net would not be as broad as yours. Yeah, I don't look good when I crash. Apparently, catching the webcast, it sounded there. Everybody was kind of like, "Wait, where's Kailub?" Because they saw Thad come through, and they were like, "Wait a minute, where's Kailub? Oh, I guess he already went through." And then they were like, "Wait, no, Charlie's already gone through too. What the hell?" And that's when they were kind of like, "Oh, there he is, limping along without an exhaust. What the hell happened?" Like, it kind of caught everybody off guard. So how damaged was your bike? Like, you're like, "Holy shit, what just happened? I'm getting up off the ground." Like, do you assess anything at that point, or do you just go, "Okay, I need to keep going"?
Well, it happened right pretty much a quarter of a mile before the pits.
Okay.
And we were coming into pit that lap as well, so we had like just a little portion of grass track, and then we pulled into the pits, and I didn't fix anything on my bike. Like when I got up, I just got up and went straight to the pits, and my bars were cocked sideways. Like I don't know, they were like, it was way off balance. I could barely go straight. and I actually got caught up in the turn pole coming into the pits because I cut the bars too hard or just a little bit, and it was way too much, and I got caught up in the turn pole and actually bent my brake pedal on the turn post marker right before I went into the pit. So my brake pedal was sticking like straight out at a 90, and I had no exhaust, and my bars were bent and twisted, and my subframe was trashed. So those guys tried. It took them so long to get the exhaust on because the subframe was so mangled, nothing would line up right.
Right, zip ties and duct tape.
Yeah, they got a bolt into the bottom of it, but they couldn't get it. They couldn't get it onto the mid pipe because the mid pipe was actually twisted down by the shock, so it was pretty mangled up.
Good Lord. Well, so I guess it's kind of like, what is, for someone in your position, I mean, you're leading, you're obviously trying to keep your winning streak going, you're like, holy crap, this is happening. You're standing there watching them try to work on your bike and try to fix all this stuff. Do you immediately go, they're going to get this fixed and I'm going to get back out there? Or are you kind of like, is this even going to happen?
In the heat of the moment, like, I know as soon as I crashed, the first thing that went through my head is my bike's going into people's motorhomes. Because
Yeah.
I was right next to the edge of the track, like I was on the far left, and people park real close to the track. And when I crashed, my bike just yard sailed. I mean, it flipped like solid 4 or 5 times and went sky high. I remember getting when I was coming to a stop, I got thrown to my back, and I remember my bike landing right next to me and shooting back up in the air again and flipping. I was like, holy crap, it's like going to take some people out. And then I was further towards the middle of the track than I thought, and I got up and I was like, I put my hands on my knees and took a breath and made sure everything was in working order on my body. I picked the bike up and I was like, man, this thing's trashed. And I limped it into the pits, and then that's when I really started thinking, like, I don't know if this is even possible to continue on. And then they put the exhaust on it, and I kicked the bars straight, and I just got used to them fairly quick. And I knew from my XC2 days that I could catch up and get third overall, with adjusted time. So I knew my fitness was good, and I was still with the leaders in XC2, and it was only just under halfway through the race, so I knew there was a good chance that I could, podium. And then when I realized I was making up so much time, I knew I was going to podium. So it was good to get on the podium, and I was pretty bummed at the end of the race to get third because second was so close, and I felt like I still had a little bit left in me that last lap to push and catch that a little sooner to make the pass. And I kind of played the waiting game and thought he was going to peter out a little sooner than he did. So that's what I was kind of so bummed about when I crossed the finish line, because, those 4 points right there could be the championship at the end of the year.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you guys have been so close just the past couple years. All of those numbers have been for everybody that's won. So, yeah, I mean, it could really come down to that. One of the things I did forget to mention is we were going, instead of doing the Pintful of Awesome award for this show, we're going to have kind of a chat room contest for all of you guys that are watching live. We want you to submit your questions for all of our guests into the chat room. And we're going to ask the guest, obviously, and through that, the best question at the end of the night is going to win some fly racing swags. We're going to give away a whip tank and a podium hat. So definitely put your questions into the chat room. I say this, obviously, because if you have questions for Kailub Russell, he is on right now, and we would appreciate your questions. So, what do you think about the moniker, or at this point in the way that the social world is going, hashtag, if you will, Katch-Up Kailub?
What do I think about it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, I have caught up quite a bit to or come from behind to win some races and stuff, and I keep putting myself in these positions, but I'd like to get rid of it.
Yeah. I think what Charlie has going for him, to check out Charlie, that's kind of like, woo, all right, yeah, I did. But yeah, the Katch-Up Kailub, it's like, damn it, I did it, yay, but what the deuce?
Yeah, I don't know how check out Charlie's still sticking with him. I mean, I can't remember the last time he's really checked out too far.
Hey man, I just listen to the webcasts. I don't know what I'm talking about. People say stuff, I regurgitate it and repeat that kind of stuff. I don't have an opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a solid point, though. I mean, people do.
I'm just saying he's won 3 to the last 9 of my wins. So
Solid point. You guys are really good teammates, huh?
yeah.
Is it copacetic underneath that tent? Be honest.
Yeah, it can be pretty tense. No.
Oh,
I'm giving you good juice here, man.
what's that?
I said I'm giving you some good juice right here, man.
Oh, I like it. It can get pretty tense. I can imagine. So, what is the most tense moment that you've ever had? Has he ever pinched your butt and made you feel uncomfortable?
No.
Well, that's good, because that would be awkward.
That would be really awkward.
Hey, buddy, see you on the line. Bink, bink. Just to throw you off. I'd do it. Come on. So that's it. It's been tense under the tent. That's it.
I mean, we just kind of do our own thing on Sundays. Like, it's kind of weird because we're both so close and everything, and I don't know how to explain it. You know, when racing, like in the off season, like when we're together out in California, like it's a completely different relationship. You'd have to say than at the races on Sunday. So
yeah,
it's definitely a lot more intense when racing starts back up for sure.
Yeah, there was some talk about some of the Supercross Lights teams. So, you know, team managers are going out and talking to people, and they're coming back to talk to their riders. And when they would come back and talk, you know, they would go to rider A first just because he was the first one in the tent. Well, rider B was starting to get upset because he thought that the manager was picking rider A over him, you know, to talk to first because he thought he was the better rider, blah, blah, blah. How do you guys have any kind of, I guess, ordeal where you have to keep things neutral in that sense, where like Auntie's like, okay, it's Charlie time and then it's X time, or is it always team time, or how do you guys kind of work that out under the tent?
I mean, we're both. I see what you're saying, but like that kind of, we're both pretty understanding when it comes to that. You know, we're on the same team, we have the same opportunity in front of us. It's more or less just, I don't even know how to explain it really, but yeah, I don't even know how to even try to start to explain that. Like, there's no like team favorites or whatever. Like, Auntie's really good about, you know, what he does for one, do for the other, and with the bike and opportunity wise. So I can't really say there's any favoritism. You know, that would be bad business on his part if there was. So, you know, it's equal opportunity, I would have to say. I mean, it's just, you know, we both want to win so bad and beat each other. Like, we just kind of do our own thing, and like, we don't really say too much to each other on Sunday.
Do you ever flex your forearms at him in intimidation?
No. They're pretty ugly.
Like you're doing to me right now. You're like, yeah, there they are. Look how big they are. You dirty son of a bitch. Those things are serious. Those scars are pretty intense. So we did get some questions from the chat room. First one was from our buddy Woodsbro up in Oklahoma, who actually bestowed upon me this fine Wieners in the Woods shirt.
Nice.
I mean, I'm extremely excited to be wearing this, and I hopefully will not represent them in the woods anytime soon because that would be awkward, and I don't know how I would wind up on Sunday morning. But he wanted to know, did you get a letter from the AMA in the last couple days saying that you finally made it to the A class?
No, I haven't. I think Taylor Robert Snapchatted me, and he got that letter, but I haven't been bumped up yet, so I'm still eligible for B class.
Nice.
Right.
So, like, Charlie Mullins has gotten one. I didn't get one. I've been in the A class for years.
Well, you know what the problem is? I
suck.
didn't write an AMA series last year, so that's why.
Yeah, because Charlie did the Big Sky and the National Enduros.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the national off-road champion, bro. What are you?
I'm just.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kidding. No, seriously, what you did is badass as well, and I love you for it. Let's see, we got some more questions. How was riding at the Motorsport Complex?
I can't really say it was at the Motorsport Complex, but
this is just the question, yeah. So wherever it really was.
Yeah, no, the marketing manager Jared Rogers, We did ride at his place, and it was pretty awesome. We got to ride out in the dunes. He lives in Oregon, right off the coast, and we just rode our bikes across the road and right into the dunes, and it was pretty awesome. Bunch of epic stuff, and we got some cool footage. And then we went up in the mountains, and it was pretty sweet there as well too, because it was we had Mount Adams on one side in Washington from where we were riding we could see, and then Mount Hood on the other, and we had a big group of guys to go trail riding with, so it was pretty cool. It was a great experience.
Bitchin'.
That sounds like Australia. Yeah, it sounds like the type of stuff we ride quite often, actually. Yeah, it's cool.
So it's funny because I see a name in the chat room, and it's Jason Rains, and I'm like, bam, this dude's a bad A. So he even has a question for you, Mr. Kailub Russell, and it is, who helped you gain championship points in Florida?
Jason Rains.
He just wanted his name to be said a bunch on the internet, I'm pretty sure is what it is.
Yeah, him and Bolton helped bump start me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's because you were having a bunch of issues getting your bike started at that event, weren't you? In different occurrences.
Yeah, a couple times I had to get bump started, and it wasn't too fun. I know that. It always seemed to I'd flame it out. Out in the fields, I did it a couple times, but it would start right up. But when I would do it in the woods, it didn't make any sense. I don't know what was going on with the bike. I can't explain that.
Right.
Don't know.
This
But yeah,
is,
he helped me get back out there and score 6 points. So thanks.
yeah, right. I'm pretty sure he's like blue, orange, whatever. That guy needs help, and I'm here to do it. So he's definitely a big help. I have a question, and this isn't any speculation. This isn't anything I've heard in the whatever kind of crap. This is just, so say, speculation. You lose the championship to Charlie Mullins this year. Charlie wins KTM. You are coming second KTM. You guys have obviously, at this point, you guys would have been going back and forth quite a few times in championships and stuff like that. Is there at any point that you would go, I need to be in a different program to get away from the back and forth of being on the same team at the championship, jumping teammates like that? Again, purely a speculative question.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's it's, you can't say I haven't thought about it. I had an opportunity this year, and I stuck with what I knew and what I felt like was going to get the job done. So, I've got a good relationship with KTM, and I couldn't say that I'm going to switch just because of Charlie or whatever. I'm going to do my best to get the job done for myself, no matter what bike I'm riding. So
yeah, and that was one of the things that I loved about what you were talking about when in your post race interview, was how it was like, if I was in my XC2 days, I would have quit. But you're like, now I'm a champion, and a champion doesn't quit. And I know that's not a direct quote, but I was blown away by that. And I think that not only says so much about who you are, but as well about a lot of these off-road racers out there. I mean, you guys are some tough-ass sons of bitches.
Yeah, you definitely got to be tough to do it, and you got to be pretty tenacious. So, I was pretty, when I got off the track, I threw a little temper tantrum, was upset just because, I know this championship's going to be close, and, like I said, I lost 4 points that I felt like I should have had pretty easily, and, I feel like there's been a lot of talk on some websites about my temper tantrum after the race and how poor sport it was, and, I feel like to be at this level, you almost have to be a poor sport. You can't be satisfied with losing. It's I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I lost this championship in 2012 by less than 5 points. So I know exactly how it feels to lose, and I don't want to do that. And there's 4 points in front of me that I didn't get the job done. So that was what I was pretty upset about, and pretty bummed. But
Yeah.
I got over it, and I realize now what I accomplished. It takes a special kind of person to be able to come from that far back to get to where I was.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting. I remember kind of hearing a little bit, but I didn't realize that the forums or whatever, people talking back and forth online about your quote unquote tantrum that happened. I guess say moving forward, what's the? I know that you're a hard on the sleeve kind of guy. How is there? Knowing yourself, you're Kailub Russell, you do what you do, you've been with yourself for X amount of years. Is there a good way to kind of try to adjust that temper? Or, I mean, is it just kind of like, it happens really quick, it's going to happen and it might go away. And like you just said, you kind of realize, you're like, well, I might have gone too far, because now I realize I'm in such a good position, so.
Yeah, like, the day could have been a lot worse, but, in the heat of the moment, like, your emotions take control, and
right.
That's all I can really say about it.
Yeah, but, no, I got nothing wrong with emotions, especially it's different where if you were like, you got, because say Thad was right there, you were trying to make a pass, but you know what, he held you off, he made it. But if you got really pissed off and for some reason you just like took it all out on Thad because you were like, you didn't let me it's like, and you had this like ridiculously stupid temper tantrum which made no sense. Then it's obviously something that would need to be reeled in, opposed to the fact that it's like exactly like you said, you were 4 points away from staying on top after this race, where at the end of the season, it could be 4 points that you lose the championship by. And you knew that right away.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think a lot of these keyboard warriors kind of realize that. But,
right.
No, I don't do this for fun anymore. It's turning into a job. So there's a big pay scale difference from first to third. And like I said, it's a job now, and I know there's still to the fans, you want to be a good role model and not show that side to people, but it's like I said, I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I can't help it sometimes if I'm not too happy when I don't win or feel like I should have or know what I was capable of doing and didn't make it happen. So
right. Well, I know I can be kind of intimidating sometimes and kind of open-faced a little bit, but do you have any questions sitting over there on the side, Rob, for our guest, Mr. Russell, as we start to wrap it up?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, just one really. And this is kind of coming from a kind of trail riding hack, which is effectively what I am, and I do a bit of club racing. The one thing I struggle with is, and we were just talking about it before, is bike fitness and skill, obviously, but bike fitness is my main kind of problem. So I'm really very interested to hear from you guys what you were saying that you were hitting up the spin class tonight, but what your kind of training regime is. I mean, you don't have to give away any state secrets or anything, but what your general kind of training regime is for a week, because it'd be good context for me, and I'm sure there's probably other people watching it'd be the same as well.
Yeah. That's the thing about me. I kind of I don't overdo it and I don't like underdo it. I don't know how to explain it, but I just kind of do whatever I feel like doing that day, whether it's riding or running or mountain biking.
Yep.
A few years ago, I haven't been quite as big into mountain biking now as I have been in the past.
Right.
I think staying active is the biggest thing. Just doing something every day, pushing yourself, and the biggest thing, like bike fitness, I think, is I've been doing the GNCCs for so long. I've been doing them for quite a while, so my body's more used to longer races, 3-hour races. But definitely, like I said, when I go training, like I go train. I don't just go lollygag around. So
yeah,
I push myself pretty hard and try to get the most out of it as I can. So I think just whatever you do, whether you're running or mountain biking or road biking, like instead of just going out for a casual ride, like really push yourself and get that heart rate up.
So we're kind of talking about doing runs, doing push bikes on the road, push bikes, mountain bikes, and then spin classes and stuff. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because that's what I try and do, but I still get on the bloody bike on a weekend, and hour and a half in, I'm nearly falling off the thing.
Yeah, just experience is the biggest thing too. Like I said, like I've been doing it for so long, my body's kind of really used to, just kind of adapted to the pain that the 3-hour race brings to you.
Fair enough. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Tav, thanks for that.
Yeah, I can imagine. I did when I was doing Big Buck that 2 hours, and unfortunately, I didn't even make it the full 2 hours. We all know that my hands gave out, and I'm gonna make that up at some point in my life, hopefully by the end of this year. But yeah, I know that if it weren't just for my hands, that 2 hours, that would have been perfect. Like I would have been like tired. I would have been ready to be done racing, and if I'd have had to. Physically, if I'd have had to like think about going into the third hour, I would have just been like, this sucks. Like that's where it becomes like a job versus like the hobby racing 2 hour thing. Like, oh my God, you guys are men, and I like you for it. Not in a sexual way, but in a yay, I'm glad that you do it and I don't sort of way. So there's always that.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty mental out there that last hour. Your head can break you pretty quickly if you give up on yourself. So
yeah, well, cool. Again, sorry that we wind up keeping you a little bit longer than we were talking about earlier, but hey man, it's always good to chat with you. I just want to say fucking great job, because the second that you crashed and I was like, damn it dude, he just needs to get out there and get points, everybody was kind of like that first lap back. Everybody on the live webcast was like, I don't know if he could do it, this, that, the other. And I sent out the tweet. I was like, if anybody is going to do this, it is going to be Kailub. And I think you actually retweeted it or said something back to me because after the race. But I was like, every time you came back by and you were like, I can't believe he's picking up points. I just wanted to like, told you. I was like, this motherfucker's going to do it, dude. I was like, I was ready for it, man. I was rooting you on from my garage in Texas for sure. So I love you know what? The tantrum, I'm okay with the tantrum, and just like some people were saying in our chat room, because it was single-sided. You didn't point that at anybody. It wasn't you were blaming somebody else. It was on you, and you just were kind of venting. Because you showed everyone out there what it takes to not just be a champion, but to continue to be a champion, I think. So, good on you. And,
yeah, for sure.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks. It was a tough day, and I'm glad it's behind me now. Hopefully, I don't do that anymore. So
yeah,
I don't know how many more of those kind of comebacks I have in me. So that was pretty rough.
I hear that. Well, cool, dude. Well, we really appreciate you taking the time to come on the show again this year. Hopefully, it's man. We'll only have you on for 5 minutes next time because you're like, yeah, I don't know, I got the whole shot in one. That was pretty bitching, right? Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. That's nowhere near as good of a story, though. All right, man. Well, you take it easy. We'll chat with you soon, all right?
All right, guys. Sounds good. See ya.
See ya.
All right. So it's always fun to have Kailub Russell on. I do enjoy the fact that he wears his emotions on his sleeve. It makes every story, I think, with him much more interesting because it's going to be an honest answer. So he's just such a cool guy to talk to, for sure. So as we kind of switch over to our next guest, Mr. Ricky Russell, I do have to say big thanks to one of our fine supporters, the guys over at Fly Racing. And I want to tell you again, they are hosting a chat room competition this evening. So you can post your questions for all the riders, and the best question we will pick at the end of the show is going to win. So if you do not know where that is, if you don't see the link below, tlk.io/seat time. So it's kind of like talk.io/seat time. To get you in there. So that's how you can go do that. So, but about Fly Racing. FlyRacing.com is the website if you want to go check these guys out, learn a little bit more about the product that they offer. But going to their website isn't just going to get you, I think, what you're going to see at a lot of the races. You're going to see a lot of support for the off-road culture, the off-road scene, things like that. Like, these guys are huge in all the races in Texas. They're very, very large supporters at the races in the GNCC. And it's that kind of commitment, I think, that we as off-road riders and racers need to stand behind. And we need to support people that are supporting our scene and making sure that we're not just going to the wayside. So, flyracing.com, go check them out. They do have all their spring stuff out. And again, as I was talking about, they're going to be giving away the whip tank and the podium hat. As who I am, I feel kind of dumb saying that. The whip tank and the podium hat. Like,
what is a whip tank?
I think it's just like the name, like, you know,
okay.
it's just a tank, but it's the whip tank. This is the wiener shirt.
A tank as in like a tank top.
Yeah,
so
tank top. Yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. So you can show off a little chest hair. You know, like beep. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to win that? So get in the chat room, Get your questions in there. We're going to ask them to the riders. And as we talk about bringing in the riders, we are bringing in hot Mr. Ricky Bobby Russell. What is up, dude?
How's it going?
Oh, dude, we are just sitting down on the couch drinking some beers, talking to, super, super fast dudes like yourself.
Nice.
Are you hiding in a closet? It looks like a closet.
Pretty much. This is my home away from home, storage room.
Nice. You're like, this side's my bunk, this side's my closet.
Yep, exactly.
Dig it. Well, dude, congratulations on your first ever XC2 win. Was that not just a great weekend?
Yeah, I mean, all in all, it went exactly as planned. Last 2 weekends ago at Big Buck, I saw you there. I should have had it, and I kind of threw it away a little bit. But I knew I had the speed, so I put 2 and 2 together for this weekend and made it happen.
Yeah, you did. And one of the things that I saw when I was watching the from my humble garage in Texas was the intensity that I saw from you at the Big Sky cross country race. There was a time where you were, up front with those guys back in August of last year, and you could just see it in your eyes. Like, you'd come by super fast, and obviously it's a blur at that point. But when you really focus in on the rider, you can really see the intensity in the eyes. You see it in the body position, just the way that you're attacking the course. You're not letting the bike ride you. You're riding the bike. And I saw that in you again. And I think, I don't know if something has changed in the past couple rounds. Obviously, you've done really well. You haven't been out of the top 4. And honestly, your 4th was your worst. You were in the top 2, all those up until now that you've gotten the 1st. So what have you been doing different this year, if anything? And kind of like, do you agree that maybe there's like a little bit more intensity? Or am I just crazy?
Maybe a combination of both.
Okay. I like it.
No, I mean, last year, obviously, I came over here not knowing what I was going to do. And I just wanted to do it. So it was a learning experience, obviously. I just jumped into XC1, kind of got my ass handed to me. But it wasn't,
Which go you, by the way, because that's a ballsy-ass move.
I already had 350s at the time. And obviously I ended up on the Yamaha 450 because that's what I was comfortable with. So that's why I went with XC1. And this year jumped down the 250F. Took what I learned from last year and making it, obviously adding a little more to my program, got a little more support this year, and it's helping a ton. I'm not so much thinking about working and making money. I'm thinking about going out and racing and training to get the win.
Yeah. So we've heard that a lot, I think, in the past couple interviews with different riders that we've had, that they've had a chance as of late coming into 2014 to be able to focus a little bit more on the racing, the training, the bike setup, all the things that go into, the 10 seconds on Sunday. What is it about 2014, do you think, in this industry that's really caused a lot more people to have a little bit more support? I wouldn't say a lot more support, but I think there are a lot more people getting, a general consensus of more support.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I would like to say the economy is getting better, but it is obviously just slowly. And I think more people are getting back into it again. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know. Obviously, there's more money and more. The economy, like I said, is getting better. That's all I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about that.
I think, I think a lot of people still try to say, "Oh, the economy sucks," all this kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's good. I think we're doing awesome. I think it's fantastic. We've even got another Suzuki team at the GNCCs. I think that's cool. Sure, it's not what we saw, 5-6 years ago, but it's bigger, it's better. So coming into 2014 for you, being that you were in the XC1 class last year, when was the decision made that you were going to become an XC2 rider?
Pretty much, I kind of planned on it anyways, and I kind of didn't really have I was in Washington, obviously, trying to work all summer long and or all off season long, and got the call from Jason Rains and got the XC2 Yamaha support from them guys, and that obviously sealed the deal for my decision to do XC2. And I rode the new 250F and loved it. I mean, everything was good about it. I've ridden the older 250Fs, and I mean, I liked them, but the new 250F's awesome. There's no complaints about it.
Yeah, and that's true. Totally new bike for 2014. I mean, It took that reverse engine that we've seen on the 450s for the past couple of years, and then all the changes that I think that they've been saving because of the fact that they were like, well, this 450 sucks. Obviously, that's kind of a general consensus. That's not my consensus. And so they were like, we're waiting until they get the 450 right. Once they got it right, they made all those changes to the 250. So you've ridden past 450s before they made this 2014 change. So kind of talk us through a lot of the dynamics of how much better or how different this bike is from an older 250 and some of maybe the older 450s as well.
Yeah, last year I was on a 12-14, which was the same as the 13, and a lot of people, I don't think, liked it too much. I mean, Paul loved it. I always loved it. I had a 2010 back home before I came over here, and I loved it. It seemed like in the moto world, it wasn't hitting the fans as good as the off-road world, and I don't know. It's hard to say. The new 250F, I mean, like you said, they took what they had with the 450 and made it better. So I think the 14 450, I haven't ridden it too much, but I think they're pretty much everything the same as the 250, but you got a lot more engine. So I'm not sure why the 250F, everyone loves it so much more, but I think they're pretty similar bikes. You just got the 250F engine in it. And all in all, it's definitely, like I said, no complaints about it. I mean, people were worried about the big tank, and big tank's awesome. You don't even know it's there.
Oh, come on. Come on. We had Strang on the show, and I was like, dude, come on. Parents are going to hate me for this, but I was like, you've had to have busted your nuts on that thing at least once or twice. And he's like, no, I haven't. I'm like, okay. I saw him at Big Buck, and he's like, I have to tell you that I hate you now. I was like, why? He was like, the week after you asked me that, I busted my nuts on that damn tank. I was like, yeah, I knew it. I was like, I'm sorry. Like, even seeing it in person, I was like, sure, I get exactly what he's saying. You see pictures of it. It's not really where you think it is. It is a little bit more further up. But, man, you come slamming into that thing hot, and you just slide a little bit further than you think you're going to. Woo! You're getting that thing up in the area.
Yeah, but it's like it's flush with your seat, so it's nothing sticking out. And I mean, obviously it's not as soft, but I've maybe rolled a little bit of my stuff on there once or twice, but nothing too bad. When you're wearing skins or something, like with a little bit of pad, gooch pad, I would say,
if you will.
Yeah, it seems to. You don't even notice it's there.
A little extra leather coin sack for the coin sack.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, that's it was fun to bust Josh's balls. But so what has it been like training with Paul Whibley? I think it has been great for you. What I've seen, what I've heard about you before I knew who you were from Brian Elliott. Till now, what I've seen from you and how you've grown and stuff like that, training with that man, is probably one of the things that have made you to the racer you are now. But tell us about that, because I don't think I could live with it. I think I would die.
Yeah,
trying to train with him.
Last year was a little rough. That, like I said, I just came over here not knowing what I was going to do, and kind of got hooked up with Paul and Randy Hawkins here at the Ampro, and we made a sort of deal I got a little more help if I was Paul's training partner. And boy, I didn't know what I was going to get myself into. And it was good for me, but I think it kind of pushed me too hard right off the bat, I wasn't really ready for it. And I was just always exhausted. But this year, coming over here, knowing what I'm getting myself into and everything, I've trained a lot more for it and was more prepared. And Paul's been kind of taking it a little more easy out, I kind of think, than he always has. but obviously Paul's a little bit easy. Is everyone else is gnarly. So
Yeah.
I think this year I'm doing a lot better with fitness and being able to last.
So it was funny because during the webcast they were talking about what your girlfriend might have cooked for you the dinner before, and I have to ask: is it Jenna? Is that how they pronounce it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What was it that she cooked you for dinner the night before?
Man, I don't know. She's we're here at the bunkhouse right now, and every night she cooks us. There's four of us here right now, and she cooks us dinner pretty much every night. It's $3 a pop.
I heard she's like the bunkhouse mom, right?
Pretty much.
cool.
I mean, we all save money in the long run, and we get dinner every night. And I mean, I think she makes a big spaghetti pasta pan that we have every night before the race. That we bring. We've been staying with our friends Steve Gasper, and he's been bringing his motorhome to the races, and he's letting us stay there. And we just bring a big old plate of spaghetti and breadsticks and salad and stuff.
So you don't have any issue carbing up in the traditional fashion.
Yeah, no. I mean,
I thought that's what you're supposed to do.
pretty much got my mom cooking for me, kinda, but my girlfriend.
Yet someone. Never mind. I'm not going to say anything about that because it could get dirty really quick. A good question from the chat room. That's a good way to change subjects really quickly. How does Wibbs get so many all balls hole shots, and not just because all of his balls are on the tank?
Oh, it's the Yamaha, man. Thing fires right up, takes off. Obviously, he's got it figured out. He's practices a lot of starts, and he knows it's gonna fire, and he goes. I mean, he's this year not hitting it quite as good as last year, but he's still got him dialed.
Well, yeah, and I think the one that he didn't get, or the one or two he didn't get, Josh Strang got.
Yeah, so another Yamaha, like I
Yeah.
said. Yamahas they fire up.
That's
Ready
crazy,
to go.
man. So what is your routine though, or do you know what their routine is? Like a lot of guys, like myself, I've found that my bike starts a lot better. I'll start it up before the line in front of me leaves, and when they tell us to kill it, pull in the clutch, kick it in the second, kill it with the kill button with the clutch still pulled in. Don't let the clutch out, and then I find top dead center, and that's where I wait. Like that's my routine. I found that kind of works the best for me, most consistently. Do you know if they have like kind of a thing like that?
That's classified information.
So yes.
I think everyone's got their own sort of routine. We all practice starts, obviously, because that's going to help you a lot. You don't have to fight so hard to get up there.
Right.
But I think pretty much, yeah, like you said, you shut it off with the clutch in, you find top dead, and you sit there till that green flag waves and kick it.
10 seconds.
Yep.
That was the coolest thing. I hate to say it. I hate to be cheesy. But with that, like Big Buck, when I was there and I raced in the Sportsman A class and got my butt handed to me, like hearing the 10 seconds, I was like, oh my God, it's happening. It's so weird.
I never heard how it went for you. I heard you didn't finish now? What's going on?
No, I didn't finish.
Only 2 hours?
Yeah, I made it an hour and a half. I made it 3 of the 4. I mean, there's really nothing to say except for the fact that my hands totally blew out. Like they just, and I can't explain it. Like I do have like baby hands, but my hands have been a lot better as of late. Now, you know, the guys at KR4 set up the bike great. I personally probably did not spend enough time getting my cockpit set up better. And the grips that they had on were stock grips. Definitely a grip that I would never run.
Yeah.
So, a lot of little things, but when it comes down to it, those are not big things that I would say. I would never pinpoint those as the reason. This is definitely me as the rider that just, my hands blew out, it sucked, and I was making small mistakes, and I'm the one who quit the race. You know what I mean? Like, the grips didn't quit the race. The bike didn't quit the race. I quit the race. So
My hands were pretty blown out at South Carolina, mainly from the desert race the weekend before. but I taped them up decent, and they held up for the race.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too where like I'd never, when you're so out of your element racing, you don't really kind of. I didn't know how to rely on my normal routine because there was nothing normal about my routine. So, the times that I would tape my hand because I knew the track was going to get gnarly, all that stuff, like I never thought into it that much. I just was going out there to have fun. But the problem is that I wanted to also race. I wanted to compete. And so I was pushing so hard. So now that's why I want to go back again because I'm like, all right, I have learned so much. And I just want to go back and finish. I want to get top 10 in the Sportsman A class. I think I can do that. Now, granted, there's going to be a bunch of dudes that are going to show up way faster than me this time, but whatever. Hopefully by the end of the year. My plan is to try to make Ironman. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But, that's what I would like.
Ironman would be a good one to come to.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only done every single race once, but last year that I would have to say was my favorite race.
Yeah. Well, again, I have to ask Rob, what do you think about Mr. Ricky Bobby over here?
Well, yeah, I mean, bloody. One of the things I was going to ask actually was a couple of things really. Again, I'm kind of coming from the whole angle of trail hack who rides club events and whatnot. I guess the one thing. Well, first of all, I was interested to find out where that Ironman race is. Where's that one?
Indiana? No. Where's it? Where's Ironman? I'm totally drawn. Is it Indiana?
Yeah, it's Indiana, Crawfordsville.
Yeah. Crawfordsville.
Oh, okay. And then the other one, I was coming back to the hands thing and the blisters and whatnot. One of the things a lot of the crew use in back home anyway, and I'm sure they do here, is those Kevlar liners. Have you seen them? Yeah. So even with them, we still get those the kind of real big blisters and everything as well.
Well, so with that again, it comes down to like if you're like I'm 5'11", 6 feet, and if you put anybody else typically has a little bit bigger hand than me, like of my stature. So I have like kind of on the small side of hands, and so when I put those liners on with any kind of glove, it makes it feel super fat, and it's like one of those things where it just all has to be right, and it just and that's what setup's about, and that's what you take time to figure out and stuff like that. So it's just like going into the KR4 guys did everything correct. They didn't do anything. It was just me spending the time to know the bike and to really kind of figure out and know these are the little things that I've worked so long on my end, at home, to then take to the race and be like, all right, guys, cool. Here are the grips I want to run. Let's figure out these. Let's get the levers in the right place.
Yep.
All that kinds of small stuff. That way I can blame my arm pump on jerking off too much and not bad setup. And
you pro boys, you kind of obviously you're all over that with the team and everything, aren't you? I guess so. Yeah, it's probably not something that's as prevalent, I guess.
Yeah. Well, he's got a woman kicking him food. So
yeah, spaghetti bolognese.
After that, what do you need?
Yeah.
You're set.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, I mean, we're talking about my baby hands blowing out and all that kinds of stuff. What are your like setup ways? Are there any little things that you've noticed that you've changed throughout the years, even if it's a minuscule thing, just because that little thing made such a big difference in your overall, setup?
Certain grips, obviously you like. People recommend certain grips they like. Some people like bigger ones, smaller grips. I don't know. Flex bars obviously are awesome.
Okay, so you use them. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Can you see them around a bit? But I've never seen that many people actually running them. Yeah. So you run those every time, eh?
Yeah. I've run flex bars for the last 4 or 5 years, and I've always loved them. I mean, they've been great, especially to help the hands.
You know that they're a sponsor of the show.
Cool. So there's another plug.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I mean, what? So how did you get in touch with the Cole and Chris crew?
I don't even know. I think back through I was doing some desert racing down in California. I think did some hare and hounds, and also I know Jason Parsons through riding and racing works back in the day, and I don't know, just through the chain of people and over the time and years of racing.
Nice. Yeah, they're cool cats, man. We got to go to the Friends of Fast Ride this past year. Had so much fun with those dudes. They even had some of the Cowie mechanics from like Justin Soule and Taylor Robert at the time, like came through and Destry Abbott, I'm sorry, and came through and they totally fixed my bike for me with a hammer, a mallet, and a 2x4. It was very impressive of those guys. Yeah, they're cool kids, man.
Yeah, they're great people. Definitely good people to have support from.
All right, so I remember a time when Paul Whibley ran. I don't know if he still runs this. He had a switch on his rear shock so that he could have two different settings, kind of like on the fly, like you would see on some mountain bikes. You know, you'd have a climb setting and a descend setting and things like that. Does that still exist on y'all's bikes? Do you have anything of this nature?
Paul's one of those guys. He notices like if his sag's a millimeter off. He notices everything about his bike. It has to be spot on. He notices it when it's different, and he's got it's not like a whole different. He's got probably some things that make it easier to switch clickers while riding, and then also can like bleed his forks while riding. Nothing too special, but it gives you confidence. You know, you switch it up and might feel better and whatnot, and I don't know, it works for him.
Right.
I don't have anything too special like that. I don't seem to be too picky. It's just I ride a little tight towards the beginning, and once I get going, I'm good to go.
Right. Well, really quick, let's talk a little bit about the Desert 100. We didn't get a chance to talk about that. So you won that recently. How was that event, man?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, totally different, one end of the spectrum to the other. We go from muddy GNCCs the first couple rounds, and then I flew home in between second round and third round of GNCC and did a local Desert 100 race back home. It's a big race back home. I've never been able to. I've done it one time, but other than that, I've been hurt every year. Or last year I was over here, and it was different. I wasn't too excited Saturday. Saturday you get to ride the majority of the course and do the poker run, and it was I would say 6 to 8 inches of silt with rocks buried into it. So I was actually hesitant about racing Sunday. I was a little because I was worried about the big picture, GNCC racing. Obviously, that's my main goal, and
right.
I didn't want to hurt myself or something. So talked to Jason. He said, go out there, see how it's going. I mean, if you're not having fun, you're feeling sketchy or whatever, just take it easy. And so my original plan was to go out and just ride, but you know, when a racer gets out there, you're gonna race.
Mm-hmm.
So
race until your hands blow up.
Yeah, I got a decent start. I'm not awesome. It actually took a couple kicks because I kind of panicked. You run to your bike and then kick it. I didn't take my time to kick it very well, and got like 5th or 6th place start or something, and then sure enough, the first couple miles in the lead, I was like, oh man, maybe I can win this thing. So just rode my own pace and was in clear, no dust, and it wasn't as sketchy when you weren't in the dust. So
yeah,
I'm good.
I think it was Tom McIntosh, a frequent viewer and fan of Seat Time. He sent me a video of the start of that event, and that was insane. At first, I didn't know what I was watching because you're where the camera, and I don't know if he was the one that filmed it or it was just one that he sent me, but where whoever was filming was, 500 yards from where you guys physically started. So it was like nothing, and then you just kind of saw this little cloud in the distance just like kind of pop up, and then you realize, oh, it's getting bigger. Oh, there are ants coming towards me. Like you're like, what is it? And then you're like, oh, okay, the race has started. Like, because from where you're at, you have no idea what's going on. It was the funniest thing. But yeah, the second the riders like come into view, I mean, you guys were just hauling the mail coming by everybody that was filming there. You guys were moving.
There's definitely nothing like it. I mean, we lined up, and to line up on one line with, I think there's just under 1,000 riders or something on one line.
Just all.
And we're standing. Everyone's standing 50 feet back from their bike, and you just wait to hear a cannon. And once you hear the cannon, you run to your bike and start it and pin it, and hopefully hope for the best.
So is the trick there to watch for the smoke from the cannon and not listen for it?
Yeah, I was actually kind of close to the cannon, and I was running before I actually heard it. I saw the smoke come out, and I was gone.
Yep. Yeah, they did a cannon the past couple years here at Toro, and a couple of us were kind of like, you know what? The sound travels slower than the sight in the sense of, so it was like, so we always watch the cannon opposed to, that's if you're the first line, because after that, then they just go with the regular flag and lights and stuff like that. But, like, cannons are fun. They make more noise. They go bang. They go boom. People are like, woo! So.
Yeah, I think the last time I did it, that's the problem with the cannon is we're all lined up and you got 1,000 people antsy and ready to go race.
Yeah.
It's hard to stop them if one of them wants to go, and I guess a bike behind us backfired or something. And this is my first year, and I was like, does that mean we go? And I just looked over and saw everyone running. So I took off, booked it to my bike, and I actually started first kick and just, I was on a 450 then. And I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I held that sucker pinned and got the whole shot. And, of course, everyone thought I was the one who jumped it or whatnot. And
you jerk.
I didn't know what I was doing, and it was the biggest adrenaline rush I've ever had, that's for sure.
Oh, my gosh. So, all right. You're in the points lead right now in the XC2 class over Grant Baylor by a skosh amount of points. And you've got, Trevor Bollinger there in third. A few points back, but still kind of in the championship. That's kind of the shape of it right now. What's the plan going forward?
Obviously, to stay consistent. We want to win races, obviously, and we know we can. But just not to have that bad race, We got to stay up there. Obviously, I've got a fourth one race. That's my worst one. And other than that, it's all seconds. And then this weekend was a win. So hopefully, just stay consistent. Hopefully be ahead of the main competitors.
Awesome. Well, that's cool, man. Yeah. So, Loretta Lynn's is next, Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah.
Did you race? They didn't race there last year. Have you raced there before?
No, never been there.
All
It'll
right.
be a totally new experience.
Yes, it will. Now, apparently, I don't know, what a couple people have told me that it's actually a little bit better when it rains versus when it's dry. I don't know if that's totally true. That could just be for some riders over others. But yeah, it's I've been there a couple times helping out with the webcast back when the GNCC guys first got started, and then when Seat Time first got started, when we were doing the awesomeness competition back in the day. That was fun. It was interesting. It was interesting to say the least. I'd like to make it out there and race, but I'm not. It's Mother's Day weekend. My wife would kill me. I mean, murder me. So, but hey, we wish you the best of luck. We want you to see you win again for sure, and I guess just keep having fun, right? Jason Raines is a great guy. I can imagine to have as a team manager, owner, collaborator.
Yeah.
Person.
Pretty much.
Cool, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show. So any other big news? You're not going to propose to Jenna on the air, are you?
No,
okay.
We ain't ready for that yet.
All right. I always like to ask just in case I can talk somebody into it.
Even with the spaghetti bolognese.
I know. Jeez, man, she makes you some badass spaghetti and nothing.
No, she's definitely an awesome girlfriend. But we ain't got no money yet.
Right? I hear that, man. No worries. All right. Well, thank you for being on the show. We definitely appreciate it. And good luck in Loretta Lynn's and all your other endeavors, and we will talk soon, all right?
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
for sure. Peace.
See ya.
Later.
All right, Mr. Ricky Bobby Russell. He's such a cool dude. He's very tall and lanky. So how tall are you? You're pretty tall.
Yeah, I'm 6'2" and a bit.
6'2" and a bit. Is that a metric standard?
Yeah.
6'2" and a bit.
That's a Yorkshire bit.
A Yorkshire bit.
Yorkshire bit.
I like it. Yeah, I wonder how it is for Russell too, because he's such a tall dude. Like, I wonder if that would have been a really good question to ask, is kind of if he's had to make any kind of adjustments.
Bugger, like bar raises.
Yeah.
Because I've been told from one setup guy in Melbourne, yes, and from another guy, no. Totally conflicting advice on it. Yeah. So I'd like to actually. That's yeah.
We should need to ask 2 more people and see
Yeah,
if you can
yep.
get the same exact conflicting answers.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I need to know though. I do need to know.
Gary Sutherland isn't tall, but we'll get him on next. So, of course, great people that support this show that we want to talk about is our good friends over at Stillwell Performance. So, Endurocross is going to be starting up this weekend, and with that is going to be coming a lot of guys running over rocks, roots, trees, water holes, strangely enough, big-ass tires, all that kinds of fun stuff. And one of the ways that people do that so well, like Cody Webb and Max Gersten, is they have their suspension done, and they have it done properly by guys who know what they're doing. In that case, some of those guys are going to be the guys over at Stillwell Performance. You can check them out at stillwellperformance.com. Alan Stillwell there, the main connoisseur, if you will, of the whole setup. He's the guy that you want to call and talk to. What's going to happen is you can go online, you can fill out that little form, and with that form, you're going to be able to put in all kinds of personal information about yourself, and through that, they're going to then give you a call, ask you a lot of questions, and get you kind of set up and all that kinds of fun stuff. So it's a neat process that they have. You know, when you call them up and you talk to them about their bike, talk to them about the kind of riding that you do, all that kinds of fun stuff. So they're definitely a huge supporter of not just seat time, but the off-road scene and all that kinds of stuff. So very, very nice. We like that.
Do they allow people to, because we usually a guy in Melbourne does similar things, so do these guys allow people to send the forks in as well, you know, if they're are living away from Texas or whatnot?
Yeah, so say in this case, this guy's actually in Arizona. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, it's even better. So what say they did for me when they were like, hey, you know, would you like to get your suspension done? I was like, yes, I would. What is the cost? Okay, so we work out the deals, all that kinds of stuff. They send me a box, which they actually have specifically made for suspension. And then I put my suspension in there, send it off to them, and they send it back in the same box. Well, in the same special box.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
So, I mean, it's really cool, and it's a really good way to be able to make that work out for people that are, you know, maybe not down the street. And so that's a really good point. I like that. And so maybe you from Melbourne could ship your suspension to the United States.
Yeah, FedEx the bad boy.
That sounds like a really expensive endeavor.
Yeah, that's going to be about
Did you bring any more in here?
Yeah, I got one more.
All right, good. Because we got one more guest, so then you need one more beer.
Yep.
Hey, let's leave him a video message.
I've got to maneuver.
That's okay. So we've had some really good. Oh, look, we got a guy who's in the chat room. He's 6'3" and no risers from Scott.
Oh, good. Yeah, cool. What bike?
Oh yeah, Scott. If you're in the chat room, tell us what bike you're on, because that'll be what bike are you on?
250 EXC, 2011. I think it's called the 250 XC here.
That's the 2-stroke.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2-stroke. Oh, I guess that wouldn't really make too much of a. Oh, that would have been a good question there, Dwayne. Is it going to be easier to get wins after getting the first one Sunday? I would think it is, because there seems to be something there with that confidence level. With somebody like, I think with Ricky, who's had so many seconds, that now that he's gotten that first, he's kind of like, you know what? That speed I was carrying, that's the speed. Like, he's going to be able to pull on that knowledge to be able to look back and be like, yes, cool. He's like, I'm in front of this guy. I can make this happen. All that kinds of stuff. So, yeah, I would say you could. And MotoFro, yeah, how exactly tall is this Mad Ripa? Oh. Then we got somebody else in the chat room who's 5'9", and they use risers.
So, that's exactly my quandary.
So.
Totally conflicting. So, personal taste.
Well, here's the question.
Obviously.
Have you tried to put risers on?
Well, when I first started riding, I had a DRZ 400.
That was probably the first problem.
Yeah, I put risers on that. Yeah, but then I haven't tried risers on any of my 2-strokes on my race bikes. No, no, not yet.
On your race bikes, when you said, whoa.
My first race I did on a DRZ 400.
Good call, Mr. Parsons. So, of course, I like to try to stay connected as this whole show goes on. And we've definitely talked about a lot of our sponsors and our supporters. But this is a very, very fantastic spot. Jason Parsons, who works for Fast Company, who makes the Flex Bars, who are the ergo experts, told me, he's like, dude, what are you even talking about? Send them to us. He's like, I will get them set up. So that's the setup right there.
Okay, yeah.
We
of course.
are going to make sure that you get in touch with the guys over at Fast Company while you're in the States,
Mm.
and they're going to help you get set up in that sense, so they can ask you the right questions. Like, what are you doing in this? And they're going to be able to talk to you because with the flex bars that they make, they know how to adjust.
And they
Yeah,
know
all the
what bend
ergonometry
to use,
that comes along with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And what's really cool about the flex bars is there's people out there that for whatever reason, I don't agree with it, they run the black to black. Like they'll put the super, super stiff compression and super, super stiff rebound in their flex bars. And with that, you don't get nearly the amount of, I say, suppleness that the bars will bring to you, stuff like that. But, you can, and you'll slowly work your way into, you'll probably start with like red on the inside and yellow on the outside, but definitely you'll start to work your way into, a little bit more softer, because those things, they really do work. But if nothing else, I know that those guys know their ergonomics.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be able to talk to you about that kind of stuff. But it's interesting. It's a cool topic to think about. I know my dad, he's like 6'5", and he runs ridiculous amounts of bar risers. But I kind of have to think. So here's a setup change I just made on my bike. Did we get him? Woo! You may not have our video, but that's okay. We've got yours.
I had to, I don't have anything for you. I had to, what's the word? I had to put you on my iPad.
Ah!
Because for some reason it's not working on my computer.
Well, it's okay. We're figuring this stuff out, and we're making sure that technology happens.
I'm not a tech guy.
That's all right. So the first question, since we were just like totally in the mix of this conversation, is bar risers. Have you used them, and why would you use them if you have had or have not, or have chosen not to use them?
I'm 5'9", dude. No bar risers for me.
Well, there you go.
Another one.
Hey, maybe Ricky Russell, because that kid's tall. I mean, he might need bar risers, but not me. I'm trying to get lower.
So I would think that, like, I just put a stiffer seat on my bike so that those times when I'm kind of sitting, I'm already kind of in that up more attack position, and I've found that it's really helpful. It's kind of gotten me, to feel in that more attack position. I feel like, I guess, like somebody that would want bar risers, it's not just that because they're taller, but it's because maybe their attack position needs to be higher because their front end's too heavy. Like,
Yep.
Hey, whatever works, man. I mean, it's a mental game. That's a mental game. If you feel like it works, go for it. I say go for it. Anything that helps, small stuff like that, anything that helps like that, I say, whether it actually helps or not, if you think it does, do it.
dig it. All right. Well, that was our tech tip from Gary Sutherland for the evening. Thanks for coming on the show. We'll see you next time, Gary. All right. Well, dude, it's been too long. We've been trying to get you on. You've been kicking ass on the West Coast in the Work Series. You're being a fantastic father to your daughter, Emery. You're a role model to guys like me. I mean, I grew this facial hair because of you. Oh, wait, no. That's a different guy. Sorry. You're an awesome dude. We've been trying to get you on the show. I'm so happy that we made it happen. So just tell us about 2014, because you've had a lot of really cool stuff going for you right now.
Yeah, 2014, I kind of scrambled, put my own program together, and luckily I've been able to keep sponsors for the last few years, and NTS stepped up and helped me out. And then I've been doing some stuff with Dirt Rider, and Dirt Rider was kind enough to give me they pretty much let me borrow a 450 KTM. And I went out and won the first works race on it, on a borrowed, it's their test bike. And so I'm using that bike from them, and then some other things worked out. Bonanza Plumbing stepped up and is helping me out for Endurocross and got me a 350, used 350 to use. And it's just been crazy. I've been working on bikes a lot, and Emery's growing like crazy, and it's nonstop. It's every single day. It just goes. But it's been good. Works has been going great. I actually didn't even plan on racing that series. I was going to defend my title in the West Coast Air Scramble. But I ended up having some DNFs there. And I ended up winning the first 4 so far at Works. So I said, well, I guess we'll stick with that right now.
Yeah, for sure. So I think coming from the Texas side, so I definitely am not an East Coaster. I'm a third coast, if you will. It's kind of like, for a while, it seemed like the Works events were kind of not drawing a lot of people. They were getting some bad press, all that kinds of stuff. Now, I do notice that there has been a lot of change there with the Works series. They've been trying to get rid of that bad rep, if you will. So, as a racer that's been racing that series, tell us how you've seen that series kind of evolve in the past couple of years into what we're hearing is a much better series now.
It's been good. I mean, Sean brought in Tim. I think Sherman's his last name. Super good guy, super energetic, and he's super into listening to what people have to say about the course, or like, hey, there's a cool section over here. Can we make that a pro section? They'll go, mark it out. And I think it just all comes down to they're just listening to the riders, whether that's ATV guys, motorcycle guys, or even, now they really are pushing the side-by-sides, the razors and all that stuff, and that's been growing big for them. And it's kind of a bummer because just like GNCC has East Coast, West Coast guys need something to race too. We have Works, West Coast Terra Scrambles, and essentially you could almost say Endurocross is semi a West Coast series because until this year, now we're going to Atlanta.
Right.
Works needs to step up and be the staple series for the West Coast. That way there is rides, and with the economy and everything doing what it did, it kind of pushed some things out of Works. But it's good to see Works trying to bring an actual off-road back into it. At Sand Hollow they had a really great pro section and some really technical stuff, and I think that's what's going to draw guys in, versus just the GP plain stuff. Getting back to the off-road roots of Works, I think is going to help them, and they've definitely been doing that the past few rounds.
Yeah, well, that's really cool, man. Of the 4 wins that you've had out of the 4 races, which one was the toughest for you? It's I'm not gonna lie, it is a little hard in Texas, being third coast, to follow the Works series. I know they've been trying to get a little bit more in-depth press releases out so that we can learn a little bit more about the races and follow stuff like that. But unfortunately, because say like GNCC has a live webcast, we could catch a lot quickly. But it's very hard to know a lot of the internals that are going on at the Works events. So tell us about some of the courses and maybe some of the ones that have just been like way more brutal for you as a racer than we wouldn't be able to know about.
I'd have to say that, like, I don't know, it's been tough. Taft Taft was a tough course for me as far as I just struggled with arm pump, and I actually passed Bondo on the last lap. He ended up, we were catching him, but he ended up having a mechanical issue, which, I was in the right place at the right time, took care of that. And, Prim was really tough. I mean, Prim, Havasu, and Sand Hollow, all 3 of those were they're all sand races, really tough. And Sand Hollow was tough mentally and physically because the sand was super, super soft. And, it was like beach sand. And then there was rocks underneath the sand that you couldn't see. So you'd be going 3rd, 4th gear and you'd be clipping rocks and stuff. But, but I mean, it's kind of crazy, everybody's riding really good. Havasu has to be the one that I got the monkey off my back there. I think I've rode there since 2007, or no, 2008, I'm sorry. I rode there once as Ricky's mechanic and all this stuff. Not one year did I make it without blowing up a bike. I've broken a bike there every year. And this year was the first time I ever made it, and I actually had a close call with about 36 minutes to go. I got something jammed in between my brake lever and the frame, and it stopped the bike and shut it off, and I couldn't get it out. And I ended up get going, finish the race, win. Come to find out the week after, a rock had got stuck in between the brake pedal and the sight glass and poked a tiny hole in the oil sight glass. And luckily, it only leaked out enough. It didn't leak. If it would have popped the hole out, I would have blown my bike up. So yeah. I'd have to say that one's probably got to be the one that I was most happy about and was lucky. I mean, that was just sheer luck. So
right.
It was a good race.
Well, it sounds like as you're talking about the Works trying to really become again that kind of that West Coast, that main series. What are some of the big, and I say PR not just because they need to send press releases, but what are some of the big kind of media things that you could see them trying to do to get people more into that organization again and more into following that series, that to help guys like yourself? Because say right now, you're winning this series, but you come away with this #1 plate. Does that mean you're going to have some kind of a factory ride next year? Right now, unfortunately, probably not. because there's no factory team that would support maybe a Works rider. So in that, what would you think we would need to do to kind of create more awareness for the fact that, Works is really not as bad as some people thought it was a handful of years ago?
I think, I know Dirt Bike they're an actual sponsor, Dirt Bike Magazine. But I think it comes down to Sean and the promoters. They need to like, Dirt Rider is a perfect example. Like I do stuff with Dirt Rider, yet they don't get any press releases or anything from Sean saying, hey, this is who won. I think that's what it's going to take is, Sean's been pushing more flyers, more advertisement, more stuff like that, but he needs to reach out. Like, look at Racer X Online where they're showing GNCC coverage and they're talking about GNCC coverage where you don't see Works. He needs to get in touch with those guys, whether that's paying an ad or, whatever, spending that money. I mean, it's just like in my shoes, I have to spend money to make money. Just like, it's like I got to buy parts on the dirt bike to go make more money. So I think Sean needs to do, or, whoever's involved in Works that has to do that, needs to do that. And like I said, I'm not a promoter. I'm not the guy doing that. But I mean, as a racer, I mean, yeah, I would hope to think that if I win the championship, which I want, that's my plan, my goal, that I would have some sort of factory help. But like you said, it's tough right now. And, if that means if I have to move a different series, I'd love to do Hare and Hounds or, I've known Ricky Russell and, you guys also, I don't know, have you had Kailub Russell on yet?
Yeah, he was on a little bit earlier, yep.
Yeah, Kailub's came out and raced some Works races, and I mean, I've been trying to get out to the GNCC. I mean, those guys are gnarly guys. I mean, and to see Ricky do really good last week, I was really pumped for him. I've known him since he was riding the A class out here at Works. So I mean, that was good to see him do that. And I mean, I'd love to go race a couple GNCCs and try. I mean, by no means am I going to go out there and turn the world on fire. I know that for sure. Those guys are definitely. They have their niche in the trees. I work with guys in the trees. So I think it's tough. I mean, like I said, Works needs to definitely pay attention to the fact that, there are people wanting to get Works. There are people that are wanting to learn more about the series. And it's just going to come down to their part as far as actually pushing the series a little harder. And, they're doing a good job, but it could always take a little more. So
yeah, I understand that. I know it. I think everybody has their opinion, but as a racer, I think it's really important for us to kind of focus on what you think is a good way to talk to other racers, other riders, and to take those opinions and make sure we work around those. That's why I think it's a great reason to ask you guys those kinds of questions. So we've got Endurocross coming up, getting ready to start. I mean, How pumped are you about this? I mean, this is going to be a good year. Like you said, we're going to Atlanta. The series is expanding. I mean, it's going to be a really cool year. And X Games is coming to Austin. What up?
What?
Yeah, you get to hang out in my state, bitches.
That's right. I better be getting that beer you owe me, too, by the way.
Yep.
I didn't get one in Montana, but I'll get one at X Games from you. No, Endurocross is such a fun thing, The atmosphere is great. The people are great. They do a great job promoting it. We got TV coverage. And like I said, I pulled some new sponsors for Endurocross. I have Bonanza Plumbing stepping on board, and I hope to do good this year. I mean, Endurocross is kind of a crapshoot at certain times, and I haven't been able to ride as much Endurocross this year just because I've been focused on Works and stuff. But I got a solid program. Been working with Destry Abbott and D8 Training. He started that in Arizona, and he's been helping me out with fitness stuff, and not just fitness but mental and just everything, eating. Destry's a really good guy. So if, anybody looking for any sort of little help, Destry's finally got to that age where he can actually tell all his secrets now. So
he doesn't have to keep him close to the hip.
His age in there too. So, but no, Endurocross is good. I mean, and going to Atlanta is great because like I said, we go to Atlanta for Endurocross. Hopefully that brings out Kailub Russell and Ricky Russell and all these guys on the East Coast, GNCC guys. We love Endurocross. It helps the series, So yeah. I'm looking forward to Endurocross. I'm looking forward to X Games, and hopefully this year we can just I can have some consistent results and just build off it and be up there up front battling those guys.
Has there been any? I don't know if there has been. I've been trying to ask around. Is there any discussion about like a new WoW obstacle for this year for Endurocross?
Last
Year they tried to put in the take your head off log, but then they realized that was dumb, and so they took it out really quick.
That was dumb. The only thing that I've seen that's different is like Shane Schaefer built the track for Colton Hacker, and he built like a really big double. But I mean, other than that, I don't know. I mean, and that's what I think. Two things as a racer, I'd love to see Endurocross do. First, I'd love to see him go to like bigger arenas, bigger venues, to where we have more room and it's a little faster paced, a little more action. And secondly, is let's throw in the school bus here and there. Let's go find a old junked car. I mean, we did that once. Like school buses and concrete tubes and I mean whatever they can think of. Let's do it. Like whether that's a bunch of trees sticking in the ground that we have to weave in and out of. Just something.
Yeah.
Hey, come here. You want to say hi? No, you can be shy. Who's that?
Emery! Hey!
Oh, she's being shy.
Oh, that's okay.
Can you say hi? Oh, we're being shy.
Oh, that's okay. She's still a sweet girl.
Yeah, she's getting to be an age and getting to be a little girl where she has an attitude and she tells me what she wants now. So.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
How old is Emery now?
Can you say 2? She's 2.5.
2.5.
Say hi, guys. No?
You say brap.
We're not talking? See, look at you. You can see yourself. Say hi. I don't know.
That's okay.
Closed lips tonight, I guess. That's the first time all night she hasn't said anything. You guys should come around more often.
You're welcome. Well, we did have a question from the chat room. He was wondering, how was all the free riding in Utah that you did with the fast guys?
Hold on just a second. All right, we're back. What was that question again? Sorry, man.
How was all the free riding that you did in Utah with the fast guys?
Oh, it was great. We actually went up there with Dirt Rider. Be sure to check out the next Dirt Rider issue. I'm on the cover.
Oh.
So make sure he goes out and buys that so we can have a good cover. But it was great. Cole up at the Fast Company, he puts on he's got a great product, first off, and he's got great business, great atmosphere, and he was super welcome. We all showed up, people were crashing at his place, and the free riding up there is phenomenal. The slick rock is just insane. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if you have the cojones to do the limit is there. You can do whatever you want to do. So, I mean, it's good. And I tell anybody that if you're looking for a good trail ride, call up those guys, bolt on a set of handlebars, and go ride with them because it's a great, great area to ride, and they're great people to show you where to go.
Yeah, we were disappointed that you weren't going to be there, that you didn't make the Friends of Fast ride, because we were actually out there for that before Vegas. But
yeah, maybe next. Well, oh yeah, that's right. We're only doing one Vegas.
I know, and I can't make it, so sorry. We don't get to hang out this time. Only in Austin, buddy.
Austin, that's right. I'm waiting.
Right. So I have been I live 3.5 hours away from Austin, so I'm not close, but at the same time, I'm gonna be there, and I'm not far away.
Yep.
And you guys race on Saturday afternoon, right? 4 p.m. on Saturday, Friday. That's even better. So why can't we put together some kind of Saturday night party?
I'm sure you can. I'm waiting for the time and where at.
The invite is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to talk to some people. I'm going to see if I can make something happen. Well, that's good to know. So, you're definitely a working man's badass, off-road racer. You're a wicked dad. You're super fast. You've kind of tried to figure it out, how to put it all together. Are you having fun in life? I would imagine you are, but I mean...
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm having a great time. I mean, you look at that face right there, and I mean, that's just pure joy. I mean, yeah, sometimes I just want to strangle myself because, she's 2, but I'm having a great time. I mean, I'm getting to do what I love. I've always dreamed of racing, and it's always better when you're winning. I mean, right now things are going good, and it's great to have people in your corner even when you're down. Oh, what?
Kitty.
Okay.
Kitty.
Hold on. So I mean, yeah, I'm enjoying life. Everything's good. She's healthy. I'm healthy. Everything couldn't be better.
That's fantastic, dude. That's fantastic. So what else? We got Works, kicking ass. We got Enduro Cross, getting ready to start up. Hopefully that goes obviously really good. Emory, obviously super healthy, having a good time in life. What else has been going on, man? What else do we have to know about you?
Not much, man. Just the day to day, working on dirt. Basically, I'm more of a mechanic than I do for training. So basically, hanging out with her and working on dirt bikes is my training schedule lately.
Do you have a Match.com profile?
No, I'm actually seeing somebody, so I'm all good there.
Oh, well, hey, all right. Well, they weren't my chances. Darn it.
I know. Sorry, all the ladies out there.
Oh, well. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Well,
I mean, she's the one that got her. I mean, not me. It's her. It's her good looks, not me.
Right. No, yeah, for sure. So, if a smaller gentleman like myself, who doesn't have very many muscles, wanted to be able to fill out a shirt more like you do, what would the training regimen be like for that?
Training regimen. Unfortunately, less beer.
Oh,
Less beer.
You're killing me here, Smalls.
Yeah, I think that's your downfall right there. That's what you're gonna have to worry about.
Yeah.
And then secondly, make a phone call to Destry Abbott, and he'll send you over some workout plans. That's the way it goes.
Boom.
Oh, okay.
What, didn't I see something about the not Destry Abbott? What was what was that?
Yeah, me and Destry go back, and we're really good friends, and so I've been joking around with him lately. And on April Fool's, I made up a little flyer that said I'm gonna start ND8 training. It's not Destry training, and I put on there that we do everything that Destry doesn't, and it was just funny, it's an inside joke. And I actually told him tonight I was trying to get a hold of him earlier, and he didn't call me back, so I left a message on his phone. I said, hey, if you don't call me back before this interview, I said I'm gonna directly on live interview, I'm gonna launch ND8 training. But since he actually texted me back, so there's gonna be no, I'm not gonna open that up yet, so we'll wait.
I like it. Well, it was a good logo. Sharpie and the N in front of the DA8.
That's right. If nothing else, after racing, I can be an artist.
For sure. Yeah, you and your daughter could be at the same level.
Yeah, artist and a comedian all at the same time.
I like it, man. I like it. Well, cool. Well, I can't say that it hasn't been a long episode, but it's been a lot of fun, and we always love having you on the show. And you've done a great thing for all of our sponsors because of the fact that you pretty much your bike is laid out by all of them. So we love that for sure. So, dude, good luck. Have fun out there. I can't wait to see you in Austin. Is Emory going to be with you?
I think so. I don't know. We'll see. Just depends on what my parents are doing. Maybe I can get them to fly down, or I'll fly there. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Well, we'll probably have the whole family down there, so that's why I'm saying she could probably hang out with my kids and all that stuff. So.
Cool.
Well, awesome. Well, we really appreciate it, man. I know life's crazy, and family as a dad gets insane. So we really appreciate the time. Good luck. Keep kicking ass, and give us a seat time report when this weekend's over. All right.
All right, sounds good. Hopefully we'll be talking to you guys soon.
You know it, man. Take it easy.
See ya.
All right, later, guys.
Bye. Bye. Oh, man. Yeah, so as even you learned when you came over a little bit earlier, when my little man was going a little ape shit in his crib, sometimes you just got to put stuff down and go save lives.
Yeah.
And you could tell that it was getting to a point there, and not that he doesn't enjoy it, but there's a point where you just got to say, you know what? Kid's getting a little nuts.
There was paintings coming off the wall, I think, at one point, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's funny, man. Oh my god. Well, okay, Rob. We didn't really get a chance to talk much about you and who you are and all that kinds of stuff. But I have to say, now that you've sat in for an hour and 40 minutes of seat time, you've actually are a fan. You've listened to the show and watched a couple times in Melbourne and stuff like that. What are your thoughts?
Oh no, I think it's fantastic. So I originally kind of came across Seat Time because I knew I was coming over to Texas to do some work and whatnot last year, wasn't it? And I kind of done a search and whatever else, and then came across your stuff and was having a watch of it. And it's really good to actually effectively be able to talk real time to some of these pros and whatnot, isn't it? Particularly with being able to do the chat feature and everything now as well. Yeah. So it's I think it's an awesome kind of thing to do, you know. And I'm pleased to be a part of it, you know.
Absolutely,
as much
we've
as I
had
can
quite a
be.
few people enjoy your accent.
Yeah, that seems to be the general gist. Yeah, so probably as an explanation, so my accent is, pretty much all Yorkshire with a little bit of Australia chucked in there as well. So I've been in Australia for 10 years now. I've been riding dirt bikes for about 6 years, all in Australia. But I grew up racing BMXs. So I actually competed nationally BMX racing in the UK, all the way through what you'd call I got kind of junior high and high school probably
Right.
here, you know, senior school as it's called in the UK. So that's what so I've always been into the bikes in some way, shape or form, and then started riding in Australia on the road initially, and then went out and bought it's pretty funny, I went out and bought a Kawasaki KLX 250.
Yeah, you did.
And literally wrote and like got out the map, saw there was a national park about an hour away, got on the KLX 250 and rode to the national park, and then rode round in a circle for a bit. Kind of thought, this is pretty dangerous. If I fall off, that's it. I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere. So I went home, managed to find a couple of friends, and then one of the dudes that I was riding with said, "Oh yeah, best bike you want is a Suzuki DRZ 400." So I was like, "Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely get one of them." You know, I'm kind of like pretty clueless. So I rock up to this, and then I went online and I found the club which I'm now part of that I do my club racing in, and thought, yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll just go and do a race. Yeah, it'd be good. You know, I'll just hang out with all the crew there. They'll all be really nice and everything. You know, turned up. There was me and my friend Crazy Al. Crazy Al was on a 1997 TTR 250 farm bike, and I was on a brand new DRZ 400 that still had the mirrors on and the indicators on it. And we turned up with these two bad boys on the back of the trailer, and there's all the boys, and like,
yeah, you're like, guys, what's up? Where's the dual sport adventure?
yeah. And I'll tell you what, to their credit, and it's mcrcv.com.au, which is the club that we race with, and this club is actually where a lot of the national level riders come from. So there's a fella we were talking before called Chucky Sanders, who was racing at the Enduro Cross in Melbourne, which was obviously topical for when we're talking about Enduro Cross that Mike Brown was racing in, Toby Price, and he was up there with those boys. He was in the top 5, and he grew up racing in this club, you know.
Wow.
So it's that kind of level of crew, and there's me and Crazy Al rocking up with the trailer that's like got a wonky wheel in it and everything, you know,
and your mirrors and like your license plates.
Yeah,
and
license.
like,
I
what's
had the
up?
license plates on. And to their credit, all the crew, they were just like that. Yeah, there's the start line, fellas. You got to do the sighting lap first. Crazy Al came back after the sighting lap, covered in sweat, couldn't handle it, had to go off and have a cheese sandwich. So he went off and had a cheese sandwich while everyone started the race, and then he joined in later and did one lap, and then came back and had a bacon and egg sandwich.
Cheese
Pretty
won't
funny.
do it.
So yeah, so that was my introduction, and then obviously I've been kind of just involved in the club scene and a little bit of the state level in Victoria in Australia as well.
Hell yeah. Well, do you think there was any questions that stand out to you as fantastic and ones that are worth being the winner of?
From that list there,
Kind of.
yeah, I can't actually see it
I
because
know.
my eyes are knackered.
I'm trying to think back as well as going through some of the questions that we asked. It would have been easier if I had taken notes as I did it, but hey, you know.
So what I was going to say as well, to just kind of to extend out to all of the people who tune in and listen to Seat Time, is I've got a couple of spare bikes back in Melbourne. So if anybody wants to come over and hang out, they're anybody who rides bikes all over the country, really, if they want to come and hang out in Australia, then feel free to get in touch. I'll be more than happy to put people up and take people out on the trails and things, and borrow a bike if you want. No worries.
Dude, man, now if we could just afford the tickets to get there.
Yep, that's it. Qantas does direct into Sydney now. Yeah, it's like 15.5-hour flight direct in. Actually, no, I think it's direct into Brisbane, and then you'd have to transfer down. But it's there is a direct flight from DFW now.
Where was the movie BMX Bandits filmed?
That was in Sydney on the Northern Beaches.
You actually knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, because that was like my film that was like the Goonies.
That was your rad?
Yeah.
Dude, I watched that movie so much growing up.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman.
Oh, dude, yeah. And
Yeah.
I still to this day want to go ride a BMX bike in a water park.
Oh yeah, that's
Closed,
right.
not closed, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, that shit was awesome.
Yeah, it was epic, wasn't it?
Dude,
Yeah.
all right, I think I found a question. And I like this one. I thought it was just a good question. I don't think anybody actually thought this is going to be a winning question. I think they just asked it because it's a good question. How does Wibbs get so many all balls hole shots? I think there's a lot of sexual play in that. There's also the fact that Paul Wilbly gets a lot of hole shots. And, they answered it well to the fact that the Yamaha start's good.
Yeah, it's the Iron Horse.
Yeah, so I like that. I think it's B Williams 524. Definitely, if you have not before, either email me. If you haven't emailed me, you don't have my email address, you can hit us up on Facebook. So facebook.com/seattime. Send us a message, and we will get you in touch with the proper. Whoa, there was that beer coming back. The proper authorities to make sure that you get your awesome gear from Fly Racing, which will be, what was it again? The tank with the whip tank. And the podium hat. Dude, you were going to look so bro. Like, bro.
What's the podium hat, though? Is that like a
Let's
funny shape
find
hat,
out.
or?
Let's go to flyracing.com. Flyracing.com. I need to open up my desktop presenter and show it to you, don't I? Yeah. Oh, well. So if you go to flyracing.com, you go to casual.
Like one of them propeller hats.
Then you go, yeah. That would be awesome. A podium hat. So there you go. Check me out.
Oh, yeah, they look nice, don't they?
Hell yeah. That's going to make anybody's head look good.
They're cool, actually, aren't they?
All right. So there you go. B. Williams 524. Thank you for asking your questions. We really do appreciate that. You can't say enough about Fly Racing. I mean, they're a fantastic supporter of this show, and they're willing to offer out awesome products like this. To anybody out there willing to offer questions, willing to tag their pictures with a pint full of awesome, which we will be doing again next week. Going to get back into that. So remember, if you didn't win in the past and you would like to win any of your pictures, any of your posts, any of your videos, any of your stories that you post on any social media platform, make sure you use the hashtag PintfulOfAwesome, and we will try to get you to be the winner next week with some more Fly Racing swag. So big thanks to those guys for stepping out and doing all that stuff. Oh, man, now we got people talking about the electric couch because of the DRZ and the Rad being one of the greatest movies ever. I think we've found a whole new format for the show. Yeah.
And the other one was Ban This. Paul Peralta, Ban This. That was epic.
Oh, dude, that is... Whoa.
That's old school as well.
That's bringing it back. Holy, that's like, we could totally go into like Gleam in the
Cube, yeah. Christian Slater.
What? Oh, and then what's the T? What's the... Thrasher?
Oh, like, yeah.
You're like, oh, yeah. Yep. I'm in my mid-30s. It's official. Yeah. All the movies that I grew up to are now coming out, people. There you go. Well, cool. I really appreciate you, one, for reaching out. That's for those of you who don't know, this is Seat Time. We are the beer-drinking bench racing show. We're normal people. We just love to talk moto, talk off-road. And that's all he did. He just shot us an email saying, hey, what's up, guys? Love the show. We're coming into town. Let's hang out. Cool. And so do that. We're easily accessible in that sense. Just shoot us an email. Let's talk. Let's say hi. And if you're in town, absolutely come on the show and let's talk some moto. I love this kind of stuff. This is what we do this for. And we will be back next week. No more break. I'm probably going to be Skyping into the show. I will not be in studio. I'm going to be in Austin, actually, at a conference for work. So I'm going to bring some of my equipment with me to Skype into the show and run it. And so Steven's going to run it from here, kind of central control. And I'm going to be one of the guests/hosts. And it's going to be an interesting situation. So we'll have to see how that goes. But definitely, so seattime.co is the website where you can catch all of the archives for the show if you'd like to do it that way. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/seattime. If you'd like to friend us, you can also message us there. Twitter is twitter.com/seattime_CEO. We're on Instagram. It's regular old Seat Time. iTunes and Stitcher. If you just like audio and you don't think I'm that pretty, you can find us there. Just search for Seat Time, a pint full of awesome. And on YouTube, easy enough. That way you get announced for all of the episodes as they are uploaded and or updated or things that I may change. I don't know. That's good. So, as always, we definitely appreciate you guys for looking at me like I forgot something, Steven.
Caselli.
Holy shit! You're right. I totally spaced on that. I'm so sorry. And it sucks because of the fact that this is totally like the man. Go ahead and point at that jersey for me. That jersey right there, Kirk Caselli, everybody. Today, in case you didn't get a chance to watch it, Ride the Dream is streaming live still on KurtCaselli.com. You can go and watch it there. If you have not, please go watch it. Of course, you can purchase it as of right now on iTunes. I believe it's $7.99, $8.99. At least, from what I understand, a portion of those sales go to the Kurt Caselli Foundation. So please support the sport, support this foundation. So hopefully, we don't know the details, but whatever the details that they do know behind the scenes that they're trying to fix with the Kurt Caselli Foundation when it comes to the safety of off-road riders, support them so that way we do not have to lose any more legends at such an early age. It's unfortunate, but believe me, this documentary is amazing, and we are so thankful to have even such a small part in it. So yes, go do that. We appreciate all the support, all the things you guys do. Rob, for coming in the studio.
Thanks, man.
And
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next week. Remember to always enjoy a pint full of awesome. Peace.